Possibly. Hello, hello. I am Jamaica, and these are my co hosts, Jaylene and Genelva. And we are the Money Savvy Sisters. You can watch us live on Just TV via Roku TV, Fire TV, SSH 101 TV, NCG Television Network, Twitter Live, Facebook Live, um, Instagram Live, YouTube Live on the Just TV and Just FM pages, or watch us 24/7 on www.justfm.ca. Please like our Just TV page and invite your friends and families to like it too. We're going to share our Instagrams. We do have the Money Savvy Sisters Instagrams, and mine is Meica Miller, Meicamiller.
And mine is Genelva Gibbs, Genelva Gibbs.
And mine is Jaylene _Ferreira17, Jaylene_FERREIRA17.
Woo. Okay. So today's topic, we're going to talk about breaking the money cycle. So if you've ever felt like you're working hard but not getting ahead financially, this episode is for you. Today, we're going to dive into financial habits, how they're passed down, how they impact our lives, and most importantly, how to break the cycle and build wealth.
That's right. Most of us have grown up seeing our parents or guardians struggle with money. I almost choked on my own spit there. Maybe there was never enough, or maybe no one talked about finances at all. These experiences shape who we are and how we handle money as adults, often without us even realizing it.
Yes, and the good news is that you can change your financial future. Just because your family struggled doesn't mean that you have to. So we're going to break it all down, from shifting your money mindset to practical budgeting, saving, and wealth building strategies. Plus, we're going to have a fun game coming up and a Q&A where we're going to answer all of your financial questions. So make sure to stick around.
Yeah, so let's start by talking about inherited financial habits. Whether we realize it or not, we tend to repeat what we saw growing up. For example, if money was always tight in your household, you might have developed a scarcity mindset, believing there's never enough and living in fear of financial stability.
Exactly. Another habit is emotional spending. If you saw your family member using shopping as a way to relieve stress, you might find yourself doing the same. I know my mom loves to shop when she's stressed out, and so I also now have a little spending problem in that department. The problem is emotional spending can lead to debt, and that keeps the cycle going.
Another big one is avoiding financial planning. So some people grow up in a household where money just isn't an open discussion, which leads to just getting by mindset. So without budgeting or planning, you end up living paycheck to paycheck. So recognizing these habits is the first step to changing them.
Yes. Now that we've identified some of those habits, let's talk about shifting your mindset. One of the most important changes is moving from a scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset. Instead of thinking, I'll never have enough, start thinking, how can I create more?
That's so powerful. Another mindset shift is understanding that money is a tool. It's not something to fear. It's not something to worship. It's a resource. And that, when managed well, can give you freedom and choice.
And let's not forget the importance of paying yourself first. Okay, many people wait to the end of the month to save, but if you do that, there's rarely anything left there. So instead, treat saving like a bill, something that you pay before you do anything else.
Yes. Okay. Now let's talk about budgeting. It gets such a bad reputation, but a budget isn't about restriction. It's about financial freedom. A good budget gives you control over your money instead of letting money control you.
Yes, a great method is the 50-30-20 rule. 50% for needs, 30% for wants, 20% for savings or debt. But if that doesn't fit your lifestyle, adjust it. The best budget is one that you can stick to.
Absolutely. And one thing that really helps is tracking your expenses. Look at where your money is actually going. We find with TAP these days that we just don't really know where all of our money is going. It just seems to disappear. So you actually might be surprised on how much you spend on small things like coffee or subscriptions. Subscriptions I just went through and I'm saving a lot of money now. So definitely you want to check in on those things. And once you see it, you can know, this isn't a choice I want to make or where I want to put my money, and direct it to your savings for a better your future.
Absolutely. Now, debt is one of the biggest things keeping people trapped in the money cycle. But here's the good news. It's possible to get out. First step, stop adding more debt.
And second, pick a debt repayment method. Snowball method means you're paying off the smallest debt first for quick wins, while the avalanche method tackles high interest debts first to save money.
Absolutely. And don't forget to negotiate. Negotiation is your friend. So call your lenders, ask them for a lower interest rate, or look into debt consolidation if that makes sense for you. The key is to have a plan and stick to it. If you're feeling really scared about debt right now, please feel free to reach out to any of us. We're here to help you with all of these strategies that we go over today.
Yes. And once you have a handle on debt, next step is building wealth. It starts with saving, like having an emergency fund of at least 3 months worth of expenses.
And then investing. Many people think investing is just for the rich, but it's not. You can start small, something as small as $25 a month, into something like a TFSA, and that can grow a significant amount over time.
Yes, that's the power of compound interest. Your money makes money. So the earlier you start, the better. Don't let fear hold you back from investing into your future. Like I said, sit down with a financial professional and learn these things. Investing is not as scary as you think.
Yes. Okay, it's time for our game. I'm excited for this. It's called Smart Money Moves. I'm going to present a financial scenario, and Genelva and Jaylene will each share their best advice. So the goal is to help you guys think about real life money decisions and how to make the smartest financial choices. Okay, ready?
Let's do it.
I'm excited. Let's go.
All right, scenario 1. You get a $5,000 tax refund. What's the best way to use it?
First, I would look at my financial priorities. If I have high interest debt, I'd put a large chunk towards that. Then I would save a portion maybe for an emergency fund or an investment. And of course, I'd allow myself to enjoy a little bit of it, maybe like 10% for some fun,
I love that. That's a really smart choice. Personally, I would focus on building my future. So if I'm already having a great savings account and no urgent debt, then I would just invest and just put most of that investment into an investment, because like we said, we want our money to make money. This is a great opportunity to put into a TFSA and start growing your money tax free. So that's personally what I would do. I also look at putting something towards personal development. That's a really big thing, is to always make sure you're pouring into yourself, like a course that increases your skills, or potentially the earnings that you can already maybe specialize something else in your field of work already, and up the potential of your income.
Those are great answers. The key takeaway is to make your money work for you instead of blowing it all at once. Okay, scenario 2. You just got a raise at work. What's your first move?
Ooh. Okay, first, I would avoid lifestyle inflation. Just because I make more money doesn't mean I should automatically spend more. Instead, I'd increase my savings or my investments and make sure I'm taking full advantage of my company's retirement plan.
Yeah, I agree. Something that I'd want to do is also look into my financial goals. Maybe start putting more towards a down payment for a house, or paying off student loans faster. A raise is a chance to get ahead, not just upgrade your lifestyle so you just start spending more. You want to make sure that you're smart with when you get raises like that.
Love it. Many people start spending more the moment they earn more, but the smartest move is to build wealth with that extra income. Scenario 3, you have $2,000 in credit card debt with a 22% interest rate What's your plan?
Ooh. Okay, first I stop using the credit card to avoid adding more debt. And then I attack it using the avalanche method. So paying more than the minimum to get rid of the high interest debt as fast as possible.
I love that. I would consider calling your credit card company and negotiating a lower interest rate, or look into transferring the balance to a 0% interest rate for a period of time. That way, I'd be able to pay it off down, and my money wouldn't just be going to paying interest every single month, because we want to actually pay down the principal and not just have it going to interest. 22% is crazy. So if that's you, make sure you call your lender and negotiate something lower.
Smart thinking. Credit card debt can snowball fast, so paying it down aggressively is key. Okay, scenario 4. Your car breaks down and the repair bill is $1,200. What do you do?
If I have an emergency fund, I'm going to use that instead of a credit card, because that's exactly what an emergency fund is for. Unexpected expenses that could otherwise lead to more debt. So take care of it with the cash.
I love that. That's exactly what I would do too. But if you don't have the full amount saved, I would negotiate with the repair shop for a payment plan, or look into other financial options that don't involve high interest credit cards, right? We don't want to be racking up more debt, just like Genelva said. I'd also review your budget and see where you can cut some expenses to cover it quickly.
That's why having an emergency fund is so important. Avoiding debt when unexpected expenses hit is a game changer. Okay, scenario 5. You just got a bonus at work. What's the best way to use it?
Okay, I'm going to split it into 3 parts, one for saving or investments, one for paying down debt, and if I have any, one for personal enjoyment. That way I'm being responsible and I'm also rewarding myself.
I love that. I love that. I would put it towards my long-term financial goals. So if I had a business idea in mind, or I want to invest in a course, bettering myself, that's what I would use that money to grow my potential earnings in the future.
Great answers. A bonus is a perfect opportunity to build financial security instead of spending it all immediately. Okay, that was fun. These scenarios are real life situations many of us face, and making smart choices can be the difference between struggling and thriving financially.
Absolutely. So it's all about being intentional with your money and thinking about the long-term benefits.
Yes, and I hope this gave you, something to think about. No matter where you are in your financial journey, making smart money moves today will pay off in your future for sure.
Shall we do an intro before we...
Absolutely. 1 second. I guess it's my turn. I'm Genelva, and these are my co-hosts, Jamaica and Jaylene, and we are the Money Savvy Sisters. You can watch us live on Jess TV via Roku TV, Fire TV, SSH 101 TV, NCT Television Network, Twitter Live, Facebook Live, Instagram Live, and YouTube Live on Jess TV and Jess FM pages. Or if you missed it, you can watch us 24/7 on www.jessfm.ca. Please like the Jess TV page and invite your friends to do so too. And then we'll just take a second to share our Instagram. So we do have a team one, a host one, the Money Savvy Sisters. And then mine is Genelva Gibbs. That's GENELVA GIBBSS.
And mine is Meica Miller, MEICA MILLER.
And mine is Jaylene _Ferreira 17, JAYLENE _FERREIRA 17.
Awesome. Now, breaking the cycles with starting with the next generation. So teaching kids about money early can set them up for success.
Yeah, one great way is to give them an allowance, but make them work for it. This teaches them the value of earning.
Absolutely. And introduce them to savings. Have them set a saving goal. Get them excited about it for things that they want instead of just buying them everything right away.
Yes. Okay. Let's talk about some of the most common financial mistakes people make and how to avoid them. These are things that can keep you stuck in the cycle of financial struggle if you're not careful.
Yeah, one big mistake is living beyond your means. Many people try to keep up with the lifestyle they can't afford, relying on credit cards to bridge a gap. The key is to live below your means and build wealth instead of just showing it.
Absolutely. Another mistake is not having savings for emergencies. Life happens, car repairs, medical bills, unexpected expenses come up all the time. And without an emergency fund, you're forced to use a credit card or take out a loan, which keeps you in debt. And that's what we really want to avoid here. So, a good rule of thumb is to have at least 3 months worth of expenses saved in your emergency fund.
Here's another one. Not tracking spending. Many people don't realize how much they spend on small things like takeout, coffee, or subscriptions. A $5 coffee every day is over $1,800 a year. When you track your spending, you can make better decisions.
On this little tangent, I'm gonna go off here because I cancel my Netflix subscription like once every 2 months. Every time they send me that little email being like, "We're going up in price," I'm like, "Nope, nope." Netflix has got to go. And let's not forget about impulse spending. Have you ever bought something and it was just because it was on sale? Like, sales create a false sense of urgency, making you think that you need something when you actually really don't. A good rule to stick to is that 24-hour rule. So wait 24 hours before you buy it. I'm pretty sure the impulse will subside.
I love that rule. Such a good one. Another mistake is not investing early. Many people think I need a lot of money to invest, but even starting with the small amount adds up over time. Like we said, you can start as low as $25 a month. So thanks to compound interest, the sooner you start, the more your money grows.
Here's one that doesn't get talked about enough. Not negotiating your salary. If you're not negotiating your pay, you could be leaving thousands of dollars on the table over your career. Don't be afraid to ask for what you're worth.
Another one is ignoring your credit card or your credit score. Your credit score affects your ability to get loans, rent apartments, or even land a job, depending on what industry you're in. So always pay your bill on time, keep your credit utilization low, and check your report regularly.
Absolutely. Lastly, a big mistake is not setting financial goals. If you don't have a plan for your money, it tends to disappear. So set clear, specific goals, whether it's saving for a house, starting a business, early retirement, whatever that looks like to you. Have that vision that gives your money purpose. That is so, so important. That's why people are so big into vision boards and planning these things, is so you have that motivation always.
Yes, if you recognize any of these mistakes in yourself, don't worry. It's never too late to make a change. Start small, take control, and watch your financial future improve. Okay, now it's time for some Q&A questions. We've collected some of your biggest financial questions over the past little bit, and we're ready to answer them. So let's get started.
Okay, I go first. How do I start saving if I barely make enough money to cover my bills? You should start small. Even saving $5 a week does add up. Also, reviewing your expenses, cutting subscriptions, or negotiating bills to free up some extra cash. I do want to say that, I seen this little trend on TikTok. Don't judge, but if they're paying with cash, and anytime they get a $5 bill back, that has to go into the savings. So it's a nice little cute little trick that you can use, make it a game, make it fun, so that you can save some money.
I love that. Okay, another question we get is, what's the best way to build credit if I have none? Well, get a secured credit card, make small purchases, and pay them in full each month. So you're always paying it off. Now, you can also become an authorization user from a family credit card, but I would always suggest starting to build your own credit. You can also do that with starting out with a phone bill, things like that. But the most important thing to remember is that you need to be paying things in full all the time so you're building a good credit score.
Another question, should I pay off debt first or save first? Do both. Build a small emergency fund first, $500 to $1,000, and then focus on high interest debt while continuing to save a little bit. Remember, you can even start investing as little as $25 a month.
Absolutely. What is the biggest mistake people make with credit cards? Only paying the minimal balance. This keeps people in debt longer, costs you more in interest. So always pay more if you can.
Yes. Another question we get is, how do I stop impulse buying? Well, try the 24-hour rule, wait a day before making non-essential purchases. Also, making a shopping list and sticking to it. We always say, don't go into the grocery store hungry. You need to stick to your list. That's a really big one. And yeah, just really seeing what your priorities are. Something that I feel like has really helped me is thinking about, I'm going to work really hard to save this one thing, and then working towards that instead of always just buying things, and then that way you don't get into debt or anything like that.
Yeah. Is renting better than buying a house? Well, it really depends. Renting offers flexibility, but buying builds equity. So if you plan to stay in one place long term, buying might be better.
Yes. How do I save for retirement if my job doesn't offer a pension plan? Open up an RSP or a TFSA. You can start as little as $25 a month. And then again, it's going to grow over time.
Yes. Okay, what's the best way to budget if I have irregular income? So if your income's going up and down kind of thing, base your budget on your lowest month's income. So when you earn more, those months that you do earn more, make sure to put those extra savings to cover those months where you have more of that lower income.
I love that. Should I pay off student loans early? Well, if they have high interest, yes. If they're low interest, though, focus on other financial goals first, is what I would suggest.
Okay. How do I teach my kids about money? So giving them an allowance, teaching them to divide it into savings, spendings, and giving, and then, of course, lead by example.
I feel like I'm going to sneeze. Okay, this is a good one. How can I save money on groceries? This is a really good one that we've been doing, and it saved a lot of money, is meal prepping. Meal prepping is a game changer. Buying in bulk, use coupons, and avoid shopping when you're hungry.
What's the best way to start investing? Okay, definitely start with index funds, which, by the way, all of us offer. They're low cost and they grow over time. And there's apps that you can use, like if you want to direct invest yourself, there's Wealthsimple, there's TD Direct Investing also offers it. And another one, Questrade, also allows you to invest on your own. But if you're not comfortable doing that, reach out to us, because we have investments that have a professional money manager that handles the funds inside for you, so you don't have to think about it every day.
Absolutely. How much should I have in an emergency fund? So at least 3 months worth of expenses. If you can, aim for 6 months.
Yes. Another question we get is, how do I stop living paycheck to paycheck? Track your expenses, cut unnecessary costs, increase your income, and build savings.
Yes. Should I get a second job or start a side hustle? A side hustle is great if it has long-term potential. A second job can provide immediate extra income, but you need to choose what fits your lifestyle.
Absolutely. How do I improve my credit score fast? A little delayed reading there, but pay your bills on time. Keep your credit utilization under 30%, and then dispute any errors you see on your credit report.
Yeah, that's a big thing, is disputing any kind of errors. We also work with a credit specialist. If that's something that anyone's looking for, we can help you with that as well. Now, another thing that we get asked a lot of the time is it better to lease or buy a car? So buying is better long-term because you own the car. Leasing is better if you prefer lower payments and driving new cars. So it's really more on what meets your goals.
How can I save money while still having fun? Well, budget for the fun, use discounts, free events, and travel hacks to enjoy life without overspending.
Should I use cash or credit for daily purchases? Now, credit is great for rewards, but only if you pay it off in full. So if you struggle with that discipline aspect, you should use cash.
Absolutely. Now, another question we get is, what is the best advice for someone starting their financial journey? One, educate yourself. Start small, just be consistent and stay in it. Money management is a marathon, not a sprint. So it takes time. We are educators. We provide free financial education. So if you are someone that's starting out, sit down with someone that can provide you these free services so you can learn how to win the money game.
Great questions, everyone. This just shows how important financial education is. So keep asking, keep learning, and keep growing. Now, breaking the money cycle isn't about perfection. It's about progress. So every small change adds up for sure.
Yeah. So set your clear goals, take action, even small steps like saving $10, $5, shoot, just your change on a regular basis is going to make a difference.
Yes. Educate yourself, be consistent, and remember, you have the power to change your financial future.
That is literally it for today's episode. So if you found this helpful, please share it with a friend.
And remember, wealth building is a journey. So keep growing and learning.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on Breaking the Money Cycle this episode today. We're so excited to see you guys again next week. I just wanted to add in, if you really enjoyed this episode and the idea of breaking the money cycle, an amazing book is called The Secrets of a Millionaire Mind. It talks all about breaking generational curses, things like that, and breaking the cycle, exactly like what we went over today. So that's definitely a good read. You can listen to it as well on Spotify. So definitely tune into that. We're gonna go out here with one more intro and share our Instagrams. So I am Jaylene, and these are my co-hosts Meica and Genelva. We are the Money Savvy Sisters. You can watch us on Jess TV, Fire TV, SSH101 TV, NCG Television Network, Twitter Live, Facebook Live, Instagram Live, YouTube Live on Jess TV and Jess FM pages. If you didn't get the chance to watch us live, that's okay. You can watch us 24/7 on www.jessfm.ca. Please like our Jess TV page and invite your friends to like it too. Like I said, we are going to share our Instagrams. Feel free to reach out to us. We do provide free financial education, and we're excited to help you guys. So we have the Instagram, The Money Savvy Sisters. That's a collection of all of us. And then my personal Instagram is Jaylene_Ferreira17. And that is JAYLENE_FERREIRA17.
And mine is Meica Miller, MEICAMILLER.
And mine is Genelva Gibbs, GENELVAGIBBSS. Have a good night, guys.
Bye.
Bye.